Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
Snow has never looked so good to Montana residents, and it's exactly what they need as it's helping contain the wildfires there. As for us, we're looking at rain. Some is falling now in parts of the region. Hutch, it might put a damper on Friday night football games, though.
Actually, it's much needed rain, but yes, football players and fans alike will have to deal with rain in our area and some thunderstorms as well. Let's get in a little bit closer to show you. First and foremost, we have a dry slot here in the Fargo area and southeast North Dakota. And because of this dry area, Fargo will see nothing more than sprinkles for the most part for the next little bit, but it will remain wet with lightning in Lakes Country from Detroit Lakes all the way through Bemidji for the next few hours as those storms are moving to the north and east at 45 miles per hour. Thunder and lightning not far from Frazee, heading in toward Park Rapids, where heavy rain bands will continue to surge north and east. It looks wet for early evening football in northwestern parts of Minnesota. As we take a look off to the west, much of this area is expected to expand later tonight. Let me show you what I mean. In Fargo, we may get the games in, but by 8 o'clock, our thunder shower chances increase. A few of these storms could contain locally heavy rain and hail. And then after midnight, things push off into western Minnesota and out of here by morning. Cool 50s here in Fargo, and it wouldn't surprise me if some in the north and eastern counties see 40s before bedtime tonight. More details on your hour-by-hour forecast and a look at the weekend ahead in a moment.
All right. Thanks, Hutch.
You bet.
We have new information on a story that we've been following out of West Fargo, where a teacher resigned after being accused of acting inappropriately with students. The state board that licenses teachers in North Dakota says it's looking into the West Fargo teacher who resigned, accused of misconduct. We first heard about Elizabeth Doster, a Cheyenne High School teacher, when someone called our whistleblower hotline, accusing her of engaging in oral sex and getting drunk with students. She resigned after the district confronted her about the allegations and also found beer in her classroom.
The school district did everything that we could do and as quickly as we could to ensure the safety of our children.
This isn't the first time a West Fargo teacher has been in the spotlight for misconduct recently. Coming up on Valley News Live at 6, we ask West Fargo Superintendent David Flowers if something needs to be changed. The trial for a Denver woman accused of shooting at law enforcement officers during the Dakota Access Pipeline protest has moved to Fargo. Red Fawn Fallis has pleaded not guilty in federal court to civil disorder, discharge of a firearm in relation to a felony crime of violence, and possession of a firearm and ammunition by a convicted felon. Authorities say Fallis fired a gun 3 times at officers during a confrontation last October near a protest camp in Morton County. The move came after the defense attorney argued for a change of venue for the trial, which is scheduled to begin in December. The clock is ticking on available funding through the nation's flood insurance program. Federal dollars are set to run out in just a few months, and lawmakers are scrambling for a solution. As Washington correspondent Kelly Meyer reports, there's disagreement on how to go about it.
Harvey and Irma have come and gone, leaving destruction in their wake. Now these residents are turning to our nation's flood insurance program for help, but funding is in jeopardy.
The program is in debt right now.
$25 billion in debt, according to Fetmano Penawong. He helps people in D.C. sign up for coverage under the National Flood Insurance Program. But it's running out of money because of recent natural disasters. And with a quickly approaching expiration date, he worries about what people will do.
We would lose more than $400 million in flood insurance coverage through the program.
So Congress created the National Flood Insurance Program in 1968. More than 22,000 communities across the United States participate. Congress just extended the expiration deadline until December, but there's disagreement as to what to do after that.
I've been working on this for the last 5 months on a reauthorization bill that also gives us reform. It's a program that's $24 billion in debt. We run a deficit of $1.5 billion a year.
Wisconsin Congressman Sean Duffy says he wants to see the private sector invest more in flood insurance instead of putting the burden on the federal government. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says that just won't do. He fears private insurers would rip off homeowners.
The private sector won't do it, or will charge $20,000 a year, which an average middle-class person can't afford. So we need the federal government involved. It has to be a lean, smart program.
While Duffy and Schumer disagree on how to update the program, they both agree it needs to be renewed and fast. Governor Doug Burgum has declared today POW MIA Recognition Day across the state. All government agencies have been instructed to fly the Prisoners of War Missing in Action flag. Burgum also released a statement saying, quote, "We will never forget the heroes who have gone missing in action, been held prisoner, or undergone unimaginable hardships while serving their country." Equifax reportedly had 2 months to prevent its massive data breach, but failed to install a software fix. Cybersecurity experts say a patch for the flaw was issued in March. Hackers didn't start stealing the sensitive information of up to 143 million Americans until May. Anna Werner spoke with a former Equifax employee who raised questions about the company's practices.
Something was missed.
Chris Mattman says he expects a company like Equifax to do a good job securing its computer systems.
It definitely worries me. It's not something that anyone should take lightly.
Mattman is vice president of the Apache Software Foundation, the organization behind Apache Struts, a popular program used by Equifax for building websites. In March, his group discovered a bug that let hackers take control of computers running the software. A fix was issued the same day.
If you don't apply, those security patches and things like that, you basically willfully ignore them or whatever, well, then you're subject to sort of the outcome of what could happen from that. You're vulnerable.
It's unclear why Equifax may have left its computers unprotected for months. On Thursday, the Federal Trade Commission took the unusual step of confirming it is investigating how hackers access sensitive data on roughly 143 million Americans. Manisha Mithal, Associate Director of the FTC's Privacy and Protection Division, says the agency has sued about 60 companies that didn't take reasonable steps to protect private information.
In many cases, we found that companies had simple passwords, 2-letter passwords. They didn't update their antivirus or software or their firewalls.
Sean Fricks was a lead information analyst at Equifax. He says people in his department shared unmasked Social Security numbers to company offices overseas.
This is people's personal information, their socials, their date of birth, their addresses. It's being sent to basically a third world country.
After nearly 8 years with the company, Fricks was fired in 2015 in a dispute over his overtime pay. He later sued.
You're basically a commodity. Your information's a commodity.
Equifax was asked for a response to Sean Fricks's allegations, but hasn't responded yet. The company settled Fricks's lawsuit for $35,000 without any admission of wrongdoing. Equifax also has not given any more details on the software question and the breach itself. If you didn't get drawn for a deer hunting license in North Dakota, you've got another shot. More than 970 antlerless white-tailed deer gun licenses are still available after the North Dakota Game and Fish Department completed its second lottery drawing. The licenses will be issued on a first-come, first-served basis beginning at 8 in the morning on September 27th. These licenses are only available online and only to people who haven't already received a lottery or landowner license. Residents and non-residents are eligible to apply. Remember to like Valley News Live on Facebook. You can follow the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed. Just search Valley News Live, like our page, and you'll stay informed throughout the entire day. The United Nations tries to deal with an escalating crisis after North Korea launches another missile. That's next.
And in weather, thunder showers continue to push through Minnesota while it rains in the Devil's Lake Basin. Your hour-by-hour forecast is coming up.